are so freaking close. Like the thing that you have been working for years, it is like you have in these recent months done so much work to start aligning with this thing, okay? And you're finally in the freaking alignment. And whatever you do, because this is like a precious moment, okay? That like the distractions, the old things that want to keep you in the old headspace. Well, let's be real. Nothing's keeping you in that old place. Like you're doing this, like that's why you're here. That's why you're watching this, because you're going to manifest the thing, because you're aligning with the freaking thing. But now more than ever, the message is like, do not get distracted. The stories are going to be like, it's not happening. It's happening. It is freaking happening. So we're just going to do a quick little reading because I'm super excited about this. Like, I feel like trust is your superpower. It is literally your superhuman power, and it's everyone's superhuman power because most people don't have the ability to trust. So trusting that the thing is going to happen, like knowing it's going to happen, being okay, like, because it's going to be better than what you think too. Like, I think that's also important, is like, you know, whatever you've been envisioning is, because it has the hints, the taste, the smell of the thing, but it's going to be more expansive and huge and big and explosive. So also, just like, hi, I'm Cara Elizabeth, the author, illustrator, and creator of Animal Apothecary card deck for manifesting. We're going to be using that. We're going to be using my new in the works body tech deck, getting wisdom and creation from the body, wisdom and information from the technology of our body. And I want to announce, depending on when you're watching this, July 6th is my next workshop. I think it's going to be called this, but it could totally change. So like whatever, it's going to be below explosive self-worth. I've been doing these new techniques in the last 3 months, and it's like, oh my God, I feel like I'm finally, it's like that thing that this whole reading is about. Like, I'm like, we're aligning with it, we're aligning. So this thing, it all comes down to, instead of like all these things we want, if you can really fully get into your self-worth, like, what does that mean? And, you know, people are going to be like, you practice it, like, yeah, the boundaries and the self-care and yada, yada, yada. Okay, but there's another way. There's another way. There's another way. And I'm going to teach it to you, and it's going to be radical and fun and dream journeying with, I'm saying dream journeying, but it's really, I'm taking you on this like epic journey within yourself, using the animal kingdom and body movement to speed up this like ability to finally freaking like it's kind of like brainwashing, but like more sacred. Anyways, this thing that I'm going to be teaching you, it then is, we're all, whoever is in the workshop, again, or maybe I didn't say it, virtual and in person. So it's in New York City. All the information is going to be below, but it's a kickoff to a 19-day thing that we're all going to do together. Because when we get a group of people all with the same mission, all with our self-worth and self-value, and like the thing that I'm like here for, that like if you're into manifesting and all this, why you resonate with me is because you're into manifesting and amplifying your power, but you're also here to shine your light. You're here to uplift humanity. You're here to uplift yourself and others. So that's like, we're not here just for the material objects, although like, yes, those are fun. We're going to play with those. But what we're really here for is to serve humanity with our purposes. And we can really step into that the more we honor who we are and the more we value ourselves. And then it just like our reality around us starts transforming, and it's super cool. So we're using that collective energy of everyone who's going to be a part of this workshop to freaking amp up our self-worth, to freaking align with like, finally, like honoring our value and like seeing that we are this infinite diamond that is here to shine light and reflect sources light onto others. So info below, and guess what? There will be a promo code, and I'm thinking about that word too. So for you watching this, get the promo code below. Okay, anyways, let's just move on. Let's just talk about what's going on right now to get some information on this. Like, do not get distracted. Do not get distracted. The thing is coming. It's happening. It's like, the way I see it, friends, is, okay, you walked up the mountain, right? Like, you thought, like, okay, I gotta walk up this mountain to get to the thing I want. But now there's a tightrope to get to the thing that you thought was the mountain bringing you there, but it's really the mountain brings you there to the tightrope to then get to the thing. So you're on the tightrope. So, like, and when you're on a tightrope, like 1,000 feet in the air, you don't want to get distracted. So it's just like, your trust is your superhuman power. Congratulations. Again, if you're watching this, it is because you're on this. You're on the wave. This wave of, like, the thing is happening. It's very close. Like, you just, like, you've shifted your energy so much. Like, you're vibrating at the frequency of it, and now we're just being patient for time to start, like, reflecting the thing. So let's talk to trust, because trust is the superhuman power that just fell out. So we're gonna see what trust wants to share with us. I also feel that there is, like, a new actually we'll get to this deck in a second. There is an opportunity that is approaching, or some kind of opportunity that's making itself really clear, coming forward. So that fell out. And you are in the middle of an identity shift into this more expansive version of you. You are, or no, let's talk to that version who's in this who's walked the tightrope, who's gone through the identity shift, who's standing in their full power and self-worth. And they probably also signed up for my workshop below. The new you in the future, just so, I mean, really, the self-worth is on one too. Like, that is what is calling self-worth. And then your highest self, of course, because I always get a little worried that my ego is, like, directing a lot of things. So we always have to bring in our highest self. Our highest self for sure. So highest self, collective highest selves, come on down where the price is right. And what do you want to share with humanity? Okay, now our body. What does our body want to tell us right now? So just touch your body, tap anywhere, your thyroid gland, your voice, your anything, your feet, just get into your body. Our body has some wisdom it wants to share. And let's see what we got. Okay. Cool. Okay. So there's a couple things clearly going on. What trust wants to share with us, and then it's in alignment with ground and go. So we have evolve into your complexity, and then for the body tech card, ground and go. So let's just talk about, like, the octopus. When these cards come up, there's a couple of things going on with, okay, when you're expanding into this new version of yourself, because your magnetic field, because your aura is getting bigger, there's going to be this moment or time or period that feels like way more pressure. And it's a little bit like, it's intense, it's overwhelming, it can feel suffocating, because the old version of you wasn't as expansive, so they couldn't handle this next level of what you're becoming. And this next level of you can handle all this stuff, but you're the version of you who's, like, learning how to juggle all of it. So octopus, it's like this juggling, that there's a lot going on, and it's okay because it's evolving. Now, we said superhuman power, and I always love to say that octopuses have superhuman powers despite not being human at all. But, you know, they're really profoundly fascinating, majestic creatures. They can change, you know, their abilities, like camouflaging, but also like changing the texture of their skin to match what they're against is like nuts. I heard a long time ago that there were these, and this is like hearsay. There's no like science behind this, but I find it kind of interesting, or even the thought that it was like, you know, brought into popular culture. There was these people that were using octopuses to like see what football team would win. Football, I believe it was like soccer football. And if they got it wrong, they would kill them, if I'm remembering. So they were seeing that the amount of times they were like getting it right, you know, was a lot. And I thought that was interesting because it made me think of like, whoa, do they have like all these abilities? They have like, they're master escape artists. When scientists like study them, they're always getting out of the cages. They're able to like change their skin to look like things, to camouflage themselves, to morph into shapes of other creatures, to camouflage themselves, to save their life, all this stuff to save their life. And I wonder if they could tap into some like, you know, clairvoyance type of behavior to then save their life for, you know, some sick, twisted people doing some weird game with them to see who would win a football game. But like, it's almost like they adapted these superhuman powers from survival, from their traumas. And like, we all know like the stress kills us, being overwhelmed and stressed, it's not good for us. Trauma is not great, but like there's an honoring in that those tests and difficulties that we have gone through have made us who we are and have given us these, it's like they almost ripped open these gifts that were laying dormant in us. So it's like, don't ever think that your hardships and tests and difficulties aren't actually contributing to your greatness. So if there's anything that you're going through right now that is like really freaking difficult, or if there's an echo of something in your past that is still haunting you, like that is actually, there is a superhuman gift in that thing that is, and that's almost like where the justice is, that there's always a gift in something that is really painful and difficult. Then we see Ground and Go, which is changing. I think I'm changing this card to say, I'm healing on the top, the world. But it's gonna have some kind of similar meaning. But like, let's just talk about Ground and Go. This card comes up when there's a lot of overwhelm, when there's so much change going on within oneself that like, it's like, you gotta get grounded. Like there's just so much change. So you're being asked like, find a freaking tree, find a plant in your house. This poor little plant is dying, but I was doing it earlier in the house. I was just holding it. Like, even if you can't go outside, like find a plant inside and like just touch it, you know, with your bare hands or your bare feet, and just picture grounded. Like, sorry, picture rooting. Picture rooting. You're rooting, you're rooting. This will help you ground. And I'm gonna suggest that for the next few weeks, every day, like try to touch something in nature and take 30 seconds, if not 2 to 3 minutes, to just be with the thing, some kind of nature, and see yourself rooting. This is going to be, this wisdom is going to be very healing for you, okay? And why this might be changed to say, I am healing the world, because the story of the card will still be that you need to get grounded, that there's so much going on for you and you're changing within yourself. But this is healing for you to do this grounding technique, and you are healing through this. going and doing rooting is healing for you. And when you heal, you are actually a part of healing the world. And like I've said before, if you're down with my readings, it's because you're here to uplift humanity and enjoy life and all that jazz. So you're here to heal so you can be a part of healing the rest of the world. It's like you're a pioneer, my friend. You know, it's a saying from the Baha'i faith, but it's the children of the half-light. Like, we're in between dark and light. And there's those that are gonna just like be chilling in the dark, because sometimes it feels easier, or you're gonna go hard for the light. But you're here because you're hard for the light. That sounded funny. But anyways, okay, so let's talk to what the new opportunity wants to share with us. So basically, you are being at the new opportunity in the horizon is asking your focus to be on the fact that you have to focus on the big picture, to focus that you're a freaking light bringer, that you have this gift that you're meant to serve humanity with, that you're here to shine your light, and that Hawk is like your leader, you're a visionary. Rise above, rise above, rise above, rise above. So the new opportunity is telling you in this moment of the tightrope towards that door of opportunity, you want to keep your focus. Have you ever, like, why did I just discover this in bowling for the first time in my life? Like, oh, if I actually look at the pins in front of me while I bowl the ball, it kind of hits all of them. I don't know why no one taught me, like, look at the target. Like, and maybe it just seemed obvious, and I don't know where I've been looking this entire time. I don't know, like, if the focus was, like, on the technique of how I was bowling. And I don't really bowl, and I just randomly bowled, like, a couple months ago, and I did really good, and I was like, it was funny because I never do good at these kind of sports tournaments, and I did good because I looked at the freaking pins as I threw the ball, and I'm like, is that all it was this whole time? Is like, no one told me look at the target. Anyways, that's what this is. You're on the tightrope. If you freaking look down, forget about it. Like, you gotta look at, where is it shining light? It's shining light on the B, which is your purpose, your gift you're meant to share with humanity. What your identity shift wants to share with you? Well, no surprise, there is a death and there is a rebirth. It's time to let go, but you are holding on to some things that are not who your new self is. And that's okay. It's the part of the process of this, like, transformation you're in. But when Scorpion Fly is on the scene, it's usually one of, like, the first on the scene when there's a cadaver, a dead body. So, like, there's something, this speaks to, like, lurking around still that is actually, like, a decomposing, rotting old aspect of yourself, to put it lightly. So, you know, and that's okay. Like, it's like we have a lot of affinity towards that part that we've been for like 5 or 7 years. So it's kind of ready to, like, drop that off and let it go, because it's like now you're, like, walking on the tightrope carrying that old version of yourself, and that's what's okay to let go and drop to the abyss. And it will lighten your load so much. And I'm just like, of course in my head I'm like, but how? Like, what? Can you give us, like, one technique that will help us in this letting go of the old self? And we're pulling a card from each deck. Anything to help us let go of this old self. Rise above and level up. Okay. And then we have inner conflict resolution. So, one, we're being asked to understand that just that old part of us, I think there needs to be this compassion and gratitude towards the part of us that may have felt like it was holding us back, or the part of us that was stuck in the program, because if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't have become who you are now in the midst of becoming. And they are part of your ascension, like the rise above and leveling up. So I'm wondering if there's another card that is coming to mind. I need some love and compassion. And I wonder if the technique is, maybe it's writing a letter to the past version of yourself and really like honoring them and like getting them, instead of being like, you're dead to me, maybe it's about letting them know that this next phase, like the whole Phoenix phase, the whole fire that it's like been resisting to feel because it sucks. Like if just like, it's okay to let go. It's okay, because this says let go. Like it's okay to just let go, because that part of you isn't necessarily dying. It is transmuting, it is transforming into what the old part always wanted to be. So it's safe for it to let go. So maybe like a little self-talk, or a letter to that old self, just letting it know, like, I'm here with you, like, you're not alone, like, I'm with you through this, like, death and rebirth phase, and like, it's safe for you to let go, because letting go, so like the visualization on that tightrope, you let go of that part, it then is when it learns to have wings to fly. So that's interesting. So this is all about, there's some kind of ascension happening when the letting go happens. Okay, what the new you, the future you wants to share with you. I love this card, just trust. You might not be able, like, just like little mole who can barely hear, see, smell, just gets by through the vibrations on its whiskers. You have to have blind faith right now. You have to know it's gonna happen. And I said that in the very beginning, like, do not get deterred, do not get distracted, like, it is happening. Trust is your superpower. And I love that the future self is like, this is, the trust is where it's at. Your highest self, it's happening. Master manifester, this is what your highest self wants you to know. And be okay during those, like, graggly, I don't know, graggly, whatever you think that means for you, this is your reading. Those graggly moments where, you know, like the fear comes up. How am I doing? I'm overwhelmed. Like, it's not, I feel gross. Like, what? I'm scared. I'm so effing scared. I'm just so god dang scared. Like, I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. So this is saying your highest self is like, look, you're manifesting this. It's happening. And these moments of you getting hijacked by your fear are a natural, normal process of the leveling up process, because when you level up, you actually have to look into the eyes of the things that have been keeping you at those lower levels. So it's okay. Like, it's okay if you're having some moments of fear and doubt and worry, you know, and that's like, I feel like there's some compassion there from the highest self, just to say, like, you're still freaking gonna do it. Like, even your disbelief can't freaking hold you back. Like, this is meant for you, because you are going to transmute. You are transmuting this. You are you are triumphant. You are victorious. Like, this is success for you that's coming. And see, this person here, they took their hellfire and they turned it into illuminating the world. They shot up that fire, and instead of burning in it, they used it to illuminate and enlighten others. But they do this in a really cool way too, because their other superpower is their boundaries. Their ability to say no, their ability to talk about and express how they feel, even when they're scared, their ability to ask for what they want, even if they're rejected. Like, I think we don't talk enough about, like, you know, I think boundaries feel like, no, no. But it's like, I think boundaries are also using your voice for what you want, even if you don't get the thing, and sharing like this is like what I want, and like you're either on board or you're not, and like we can have a conversation about that or whatever, but like this feels good. Because look at it, one hand is bringing in what she wants, and then the other hand of sword is like, don't F with me. So and that's her balance, is that she has no problem being like, want it? Nope, get out of my face. And then the other thing is, be your own authority. You're your own God. You're like your little demigod. That's so cool. Like, creation made us to be our own creators. You're your own artist. Like, you're creating this, all of this. You tuned into this channel because you're listening to yourself through me. Hi, nice to be you. Yeah, and just to wrap it up, oh my God, so many, but the one that fell and was facing up, and the one that's coming out of this, assurance and abundance. So assurance is when your future self comes forward and is like, this is me in the future doing this, saying I freaking did it. So get in this pose and align with your future self who says, I freaking did it. I did it. I did this. I did this. And then abundance. This thing coming for you is because you're in, it's like, you're finally gonna be like that tuning fork vibrating at the thing that feels so good. So then you're gonna align with everything else that's vibrating at that same frequency. And it's because you're in your own abundance. So the abundance of life then comes smashing in the best way at you. So again, abundance. This is about you aligning with your true self in this next phase of yourself. And like, it is so freeing. It is so liberating. It is so awesome. All right, my friends, I love you. I love you. Again, you gotta, like, the workshop is going to be epic and dope. Exploding our self-worth so we can explode our own abundance, and then just like really honor how awesome our gifts are and ourselves and life and others. And yeah, sign up, email list for whatever, and I love you. Oh, and definitely, if you like, you put a like, put a little comment, it helps the algorithm to, you know, go to others. So I really deeply appreciate that. If you could put a comment and like it, subscribe if you haven't. All right, love you all, and world peace forever.